hard, boy, to make COVID funny. But this new story from the Rolling Stones about COVID during the NBA Finals, call me dark, but it tickled me. It did. As an aside, what a world that we live in where a music magazine that maybe doesn't even produce a physical copy of a magazine anymore does world-class NBA research. Like, we are now seeing multiple COVID pieces coming out from the Rolling Stones with crazy good reporting. Obviously, someone at the Rolling Stones is very close with someone within the NBA because they're spilling all the tea to only the Rolling Stones. It's like when TMZ became like a legitimate news source. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. And it's like hidden behind a paywall. Very shady. I am like baffled by this. I'm also like imagining now a world where Maxim is doing like the deconstruction of like LeBron and Isaiah Stewart, like looking at LeBron's angle of his elbow and like, will Isaiah Stewart make it in this league? Anyway, turns out that the league, according to the Rolling Stone, nearly had a full-blown NBA COVID crisis on its hands that came very close to ruining the centerpiece of the NBA season. So the fascinating story of COVID and how it nearly destroyed the 2021 NBA Finals, and now we are just now learning about it. So it goes back to the summer of 4th of July, when multiple sources, according to multiple sources, no one on the Bucks organization knew whether Giannis or not was vaccinated. So that's problematic, considering at that point, if you remember, that Wisconsin was a hot spot for the Delta variant. Like, it was sweeping Milwaukee. Record cases. People couldn't travel in and out, but the world did not know within the Bucks organization whether Giannis had decided to get the vaccine or not. Ruh-roh. An anonymous Bucks exec told Rolling Stone this. We were very concerned that Giannis wasn't vaccinated and that with all of his exposure from all of these different people, the new face of the NBA might get infected. That's not good. Or at least contact traced by the NBA and be forced to quarantine, potentially altering the course of sports history. The biggest thing was just make sure Giannis tests negative. Wink, wink, wink. The wild thing is that no team were more fanatical about COVID protocols than the Bucks during the regular season. The Bucks hadn't allowed family to join players on the road during their first round of the playoffs because they were sticking to the mantra, stay locked in. Bud, keep your job. Budenholzer, keep your job. Stay locked in. What was it? Jeff Goldblum? Where he said Jurassic Park, nature finds its way? That's right. So do idiot friends, cousins, girlfriends that have to just hang on like little leeches in the glow of famous NBA players. Like, gotta roll. Listen, I get it. Like, if I had a best friend that was the number one I'd be sticking around too. So the finals apparently were a different animal for the Bucks. And it was Budenholzer who opened the floodgates. Of course, he said, we're bringing in our families. 3 people. What? Of course we're bringing in our families. That's what he told the team. It's the finals. Yeah, I mean, bud, like, of course. COVID loves the NBA Finals. COVID is going to take a vacation during that particular part of the NBA playoffs because COVID couldn't possibly ruin the finals when they're a known NBA fan, COVID. COVID-19 loves the NBA. They take the NBA Finals off, of course, to watch the action, right? Like, they would never come after you because they're too busy watching the NBA Finals versus infecting the NBA Finals. Do you remember when ISIS took time off of terrorizing fools in order so that they could watch the World Cup? Like, they stopped with the drone strikes and the rocket launchers and the little baby child soldiers with bombs on their chest so that they could live troll Lionel Messi, right? Like, that was what they thought would happen with COVID. Taking time off to watch sports. That's why sports unite us, because terrorists and pandemics don't affect us during those times. It's like the Olympics when we all come together, peace treaty, COVID treaty. No, are you fucking kidding me, Budenholzer? Like, no. Rolling Stone's investigation revealed for the first time that over a dozen people associated with the Bucks and the Suns tested positive for COVID during the finals. Yikes. According to league sources and 4-team officials with knowledge of the situation, 6 vaccinated staffers, including coaching and medical staffers from the Bucks, family members, and people in both franchise entourages, hangers-on, and 1 player, Giannis' brother, and teammate Giannis Antetokuonmpo. Let me just say this. You don't think Giannis was a close contact to his fucking brother who got COVID in the middle of the finals? Come on, bro. Literally, bro. Come on, bro. The funniest thing about the whole debacle was that 2 officials say that Milwaukee official responsible for keeping the team COVID-free tested positive for COVID. Rule number 1 of Fight Club. Don't talk about Fight Club. Rule number 1 of being the COVID czar, do not get COVID. Are you kidding? That's the entire rule for you. Like, don't get COVID. Don't let anybody else get COVID. That's it. You get paid if you can keep those 2 things from happening. Even now, the Bucks are protecting Giannis about this whole situation, basically saying Giannis was protecting himself. Giannis, quote unquote, the MVP, doesn't even like to go to team dinners. He doesn't even like his brother, really. No, they didn't say that. He'd received private attention from the team's medical staff, avoiding further close contact with the affected. He returned another negative test. Only his brother and 6 staffers tested positive within the NBA Finals Inner Sanctum. I mean, come on now. Key word is only. Only 6 staffers and his brother. What if Giannis actually got COVID? Like, what if, is it possible that Giannis actually had COVID versus hyperextending his knee? Giannis, just fall down real quick on that knee real quick and just miss some games. Like, you don't mean to tell me it's impossible to believe that the face of the NBA might have gotten COVID and that we never really saw any negative tests. Like, he wasn't a close contact to his brother who got COVID, like an unvaccinated Giannis wasn't a close contact to his brother who's on the team. Like, truthfully, all the unvaccinated players on the Bucks should have been quarantining, including Giannis. Like, could you imagine? NBA Finals with, like, Pat Connaughton, DJ Wilson, DJ Augustine, like Diakite, Virginia legend, against DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker's Chris Paul. Like, the NBA would lose their shit. Ratings plummeting. Money not there. Deer Park, non-existent.
Right.
I mean, COVID has been a motherfucker, but if it would have derailed the finals, yikes. I mean, I thought COVID took vacation during the finals. Like, it could have been the worst, most dramatic plot twist in sports history. We were one Thanasis sneeze on a bus or a whistleblower away from making this the nightmare scenario come true for the NBA. Suns in 4, baby. I would have been right. That's all the time that we have for the Heat Check. We will be back early, squirrely Friday morning for our Thanksgiving episode. P.S., just to give you a little taste, Kevin Durant is ashy. We'll talk about that. Do not forget to follow us on social at The Heat Check and at Trysta Krick on TikTok. We'll see you Friday morning. Knuckleheads.